YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here with some more Archaon the Ever-Chosen campaign. This time, we're starting off right where I had left off. I'm again trying to get as much of this recorded before my trip. I will be gone for 4 days straight, so if you are watching this, there will be limited videos, but I know how much you're enjoying this campaign, and I had to make some for you and get it ready. We have a skill point available to us, and we can now unlock Legion of Doom, which is going to give magic resistance, melee attack, and weapon strength for our Chosen, amongst other units, but for Archaon's army, this applies to our Chosen as soon as they hit rank 7. And we do have some units that have already hit rank 7, like the Dawi Cleavers. So I am, as of recording this, still waiting on your suggestions from the last video, because I will not have seen your last video. These are being recorded back to back. So we still need to name a unit in honor of the Battle for Morkar, and anything else that I asked you in the last episode, continue to give me that feedback, and the next time I record outside of this instance, we will take care of it. Our army is full stack. We've completed a quest for the Eye of Shirian to amass a total favor of 10,000. That was pretty easy to accomplish. Volatile Vortex is in play as well, which gives us extra winds of magic, both in the starting and in the reserve. Move any character to the Gormundi Mountains. Well, guess what? Any character is already there. This time it says a character, but whatever. We proceeded. In fact, we can fix this. If it says move a character or any character, this guy can be renamed at will. Versonli, a character. There we go, we've moved a character to the Gormundi Mountains. What say you? See? He's been there. We can fight for the Eye of Shirian. I will read this when we are ready to teleport there, but we do need to end a turn. Actually, I don't need to end a turn. Well, I do, because I want to replenish the Everwardens. So I do need to end one turn, and we'll fight for the Eye of Shirian. And we need to see here whether or not Throg is willing to subjugate immediately. Again, he may, because of the strength that we present to him, but he may not either, because of the way that I have betrayed horribly the vassalizing that I demanded of him to begin with. No, he's a coward. He resubjugates easily. So, again, we have vassalized all of the Norscan pretenders. All the tribes are united behind the Ever-Chosen, and the war against men shall begin. And the men have been busy. You can see Nordland here about to raid us. We were raided, by Ostermark. Is it Ostermark? Gotta remember the name of the faction here. Ostland. So Ostland has raided us. Nordland has raided us. And over here, Ostland again, pushing back my allies. These were just the fringes of the tribes. The true leader is ready to head south, and along with him, Kholek will first make his appearance, and we'll get his army started. We'll gain some favor, and then split off Kholek and Sigvald on their own individual quest. Haha, blood for the blood god. Ostland has destroyed the Sarl. It's of little consequence to me. They can appear to have a small victory, I suppose, if it makes them feel better about what's to happen to them. I'm going to ignore Ostland. I'm unconcerned with them at the moment. I'm going to head south, and we will enter through Nordland, and then on through Middenland, and on down into the Reichland itself, where we shall meet Emperor Karl Franz on the battlefield, and see whether indeed he is the true heir of Sigmar. I'm thinking that I'm just going to wait until I can put Appius on the Manticore, as the other steeds are somewhat pointless, and I can just focus on his magic. Appius is becoming quite powerful as a shadow sorcerer. Look at the stats on some of these Chosen. It's incredible, some of the stats we have. Ward saves, physical resistance. Archaon himself. Take a look at some of his different... he's got Troll Hunter, which gave him a bonus versus large, a charge bonus from Wolfric. And then as far as the different effects down here, it should That's physical resistance for his army. Ward save 5% for army. It should have a list of what impacts him. Armor, magical, and tax. Yeah, I mean, there's somewhere in here it'll say what his ward save is. Right here, 25%. So a 25% ward save right now on Archaon. I can't give him any better enchanted item, and the Forbidden Rod is really my only option right here as well. And there's no more options for us in terms of different different followers and marks. We can give Appius some armor. And as far as an enchanted item, I just don't have anything else available other than this talisman, which will give him some magic resistance. We need more items. We'll have to gain them through battle. Before we make the crossing into the lands of the Empire, we're going to move forward and take care of a couple of things here. First, we're going to recruit Kholek as a lord. So here he is, the Mountain God. He has minus 30% upkeep for Dragon Ogre units, and once he's able to build the buildings, that'll increase even more. Melee attack plus 10 for Dragon Ogre Shaggoths in his army as well, and we will have those. So we're going to recruit Kholek. I'm going to have him tag along with Archaon for a short time as we enter the realms of men, and we'll also get Sigvald here soon, but let's take it one step at a time. And as far as the first things we want to do with Kholek, I'm actually going to employ Route Marcher here first, so that he can keep up with Archaon just a bit better, and then we'll do this Tribes of Chaos to increase the growth within his horde. We're going to go ahead and do this move here, and I am going to transfer a great many units to Kholek temporarily while I start to fill the ranks of his army. So this should work for now. We'll transfer those over. I can go into an encampment. We can recruit, and we have up to 6 units that we can recruit, so that's actually perfect. I moved exactly the right amount. We're gonna want, let's see, so I think 6 Shaggoths in total ought to be about right, including Kholek, and then we'll start recruiting some baby Dragon Ogres here as well. And as I recruit these, I'll move them over to Kholek's army. We're very much going to go in the negative here because Kholek does not have the buildings to help handle the additional upkeep of these yet, but through raising settlements, we can maintain the favor, fill up his army while getting him growth. After 2 turns, we've finished recruiting the Shaggoths for Kholek, and we'll transfer them to his army and move on to the realms of men. The Sword of Cain has been claimed. I only wish I was close enough to claim it from that foolish enough to pluck it from the shrine. We can't pick it up from the shrine ourselves, but if given the opportunity, we will indeed claim the Sword of Cain for chaos. I'm going to just simply demolish this building to leave a space open to make it easier to build the right building from Kholek. Over time, it's just not necessary to maintain that. Actually, I don't need to worry about it right now. We'll take care of it later.
Yes, bring the storm.
What the?
I'll have this.
How come I can't trade units between these?
For chaos.
There we go. Something strange was happening there when I was trying to trade units. So Kholek, Daddy Kholek, gets his family.
Never stop. Fool.
You can see that we are eating a tremendous amount of loss of favor at this point because Kholek's army does not have the appropriate buildings to really support much of an army. So we're going to go earn our way through this, and at the same time should be able to give Kholek a great deal of growth.
My time.
We're ready to land on the shores of men. I'm going to go into a standard stance, and with Archaon, we'll attack here, and I'll do the same with Kholek, bringing them both ashore, or near the shore, I guess, for Kholek. He didn't quite make it. Get up here, Kholek. Here, got an idea. Circle. And let's get Kholek up here. I want him to reinforce so he gets the skill points. So the first settlement of men will fall. Not worth my time to show you in a battle, honestly. But we will take the looting that we gain from it. We've gained an item, the Mark of Tzeentch, which will give a 12% ward save to the assigned unit. And I suppose we could assign that to Archaon, though I may give that to Kholek. Yeah, it was given to Kholek. Perfect. Kholek can take it, and I'll actually assign it to him if it's possible. Archaon picks up a skill point. Let's see if we can... Speed and Malice here should affect our Chaos Knights. Indeed it does. So we'll gain additional speed, missile resistance, and charge bonus for any knights that go over rank 7. So should be a nice buff to those units when the time comes. I did see Boris marching north to meet us, and let's hope that he does. That'll be a fun meeting. I'm going to take care of one more thing, and this is going to be a relatively short episode because I'm just running out of time to record before I leave on my trip. So if you see this and you're like, Air, why is this episode so short? I had to go on a trip with Mrs. Air. I say I had to. I'm actually super excited to. It's going to be great. We're getting a very rare getaway where it's just the two of us. And I did not have hardly any time to record because I've been busy with work and getting everything ready. And then we're heading out to travel. So I'm giving you everything I can, but not time to make it the normal length. I'm going to place Kholek into a camp for the much needed growth so that we can get him some population surplus, and it is time for us to fight for the Eye of Shirian. So let me give you the background quick before we get started. Twisted in body and in mind, the sorcerer twitches convulsively in the grip of the gods and howls a vision of mountains twisted into fantastical shapes with gaping maws jutting out of cliff faces below, bellowing to be fed the flesh of mortals. Wow, I got tripped up there. Before the mountains lies a blood-stained plain, bordered by a forest of trees contoured into blackened skeletons, straining their branches towards warm-blooded creatures. In the tumultuous skies overhead, winged death swoops. At once noble ruler of the skies, now corrupt with change, a two-headed dragon of chaos trumpets its challenge. The Eye of Shirian gives us an additional 25% ward save, 3 melee attack, 3 defense, and protection against hero actions. And we will be fighting Kagan Blooddrencher here.
At last, a worthy challenger comes. Not some weak minion sent by the gods. No, what confronts me is something more corrupt, more bestial. It serves no master, seeks no glory other than its own, and that I abhorred, even as I rip at its throats. For it must die. No man, no god, no creature can challenge me and live.
Alright. I think in that last battle I mentioned the armor of Shirian. I meant the armor of Morkon, not the Eye of Shirian. So I messed that up. Folks, the battle for the Eye of Shirian is underway. And we are going to take on these armies and see if we can get the Dragon Lord to approach so that we can slay it and claim the Eye. These Chaos Trolls are going to be met by my Chosen with halberds. Their 4 Hell Cannons have now opened fire. I've surrounded with my Knights their position on this hill, and you can see my infantry obviously going to succeed against Chaos Warriors and Forsaken. There leaves little question there as to how that will turn out. I've got Archaon ready to come slam into this giant and take it out of the fight before it gets my infantry, and I'm going to use my standard Chaos Knights with the swords and shields here in order to deal with these Forsaken who won't have a prayer against this kind of armor, nor do they have the bonus versus large necessary. So I've plowed through. We're going to tie down the Hell Cannons, and then we're going to hit the giant with everything we got. It may not be specifically anti-large, but Archaon is, and his Knights with Lances pack a pummeling charge that will deal tons of damage to nearly any unit they encounter, especially one with such low armor like a giant. So again, you can see the infantry fight quickly swinging in my favor, and Archaon over here dealing a very, very swift death to a Chaos Giant. The Slayer of Kings obviously contributes to that, giving him massive damage. It's Good thing Archaon's not looking to impress the ladies, because he's going to smell pretty poorly after being vomited on by a giant. The giant is slain, the army's destroyed, and in the distance, we can see the dragon approaching. So the Eye of Shirian can be claimed now. Let's go check out the dragon as he flies onto the battlefield. My army is going to finish off some stragglers and get regrouped. I'm going to use my knights, all of them, in order to tie down these Dragon Ogres who are supporting the Death Caller here. What a freaking amazing looking unit here. Look at that, the twisted tails, 2 heads. Really beautiful, beautiful game. Those Dragon Ogres are going to pack a punch, but we'll overwhelm them, and then we can send our infantry to reinforce. And then as soon as the dragon lands, Sextus and Archaon will have the pleasure of slaying the beast. Let's go take a look at my forces as they line up to fight. I can see the Reavers of the Night Faith out front getting plowed through by my own... Or no, sorry, this is a regrouped unit. It looked like the Reavers of the Night Faith. I apologize. This is a regrouped Chaos Warrior getting destroyed by my Knights. And I'm moving my infantry into position so they'll be ready to support. They're a little further back because they're slower. You can see my Knights with lances coming into position, and here's Archaon ready to face off against the Dragon Lord. I'm going to go ahead and engage my Knights into the Dragon Ogres. That'll get the dragon to try a breath attack on my Knights, which will land and cause some damage. My Knights with lances will take the Dragon Ogre in the center. This will force the dragon to the ground, so you can see all the Dragon Ogres engaged with an overwhelming force of cavalry. Despite them having these bonuses, I'll have infantry nearby for support, and Archaon is going to swing around and ready the Slayer of Kings to take this dragon down. See Sextus, never one to be afraid, coming in and dealing the first hit. And Appius is debuffing the dragon with Enfeebling Foe. Let you all see what we're doing to the stats of the dragon here. Almost no melee defense, the Withering and Enfeebling Foe. And despite his defense, the Knights of Archaon quickly swoop in, destroy their enemies, and then Archaon himself stays to slay the beast. The Eye of Shirian belongs to Archaon. And the Blood Drencher is defeated. The Eye of Shirian belongs to its master, Archaon. And Archaon now is going to have an absolutely stupid amount of ward save. It will be spectacular, folks. He is going to be near invincible as we continue his ravage of the old world. Going to take the excess favor. Actually, you know what? Replenishment could be good. We're in enemy territory, and we gained a lot of favor off of that, and we're about to gain more from the destruction of more settlements. Now we have unlocked the Swords of Chaos. This is a unit that I very much want in this army, and this is a good time for me to disband the Everwardens, which don't necessarily long-term belong in this army. We gain the Eye of Shirian. Oh, this is beautiful. So I'm going to disband the Everwardens. Their service not forgotten. They will serve once again in another army, but Archaon deserves to have the Swords of Chaos as his escort because they have the Guardian ability, which gives him additional physical resistance when they fight near him. So this is an appropriate unit for Archaon's army and fits the theme and now has completely rounded out what I want for Archaon's army. We can finalize this tree here, I believe, with charge bonus for Knights. Never mind, we're going to pick that. So the additional charge bonus for the Knights, now have 111 charge, 55 even for the standard variant, so the charge of our Knights will be renowned for sure. So Archaon's army, the focus on Knights and Chosen, is complete. And we have Appius. Let's do Earthing, reduce his chances of overcast. Sextus can finish his assassination tree, so he will now be the defender of Archaon. Kholek is in his encamped stance here. I'm going to go ahead and tear down this building. I know this is a short episode, but this is all I have the time for. On the next episode, we take the fight to Boris Todbringer and his lackeys here after we punch through Nordland, Middenheim. And I know he's marching towards us, and he had a full stack. So he will be the gateway to the Reichland. And I will see you then. HeirofCarthage signing out. Make sure and leave me your feedback and comments. And like I said, sorry the episode's short. I'm traveling. I barely had time to get this in as it is, and I stayed up very late to do it, so I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you when I'm back from travel.